Hey gamers, welcome back to the Pashcast, the only show that's done the Bladder of Steel Award in Rock Band 2 3 times. I'm Patrick Morano, editor-in-chief over at gamersyndrome.com, and you're listening to the Pashcast. Thanks for coming back, guys. It's been a while for anyone who was a fan of the original run of Pashcast. It has been a month since I've posted anything. I do apologize for that. It was definitely not planned. I've kind of been in a rut, as it were, and it's been difficult to come up with anything of value. So I apologize again, but that's why I'm doing this today, of all days, because Rock Band 4 is launching, which is super exciting. The music genre kind of got oversaturated and shit the bed, basically, about 5 years ago, due to just an over-excess of Guitar Hero and Rock Band and every other music game under the sun. But with new consoles comes new games, and Harmonix thought it was a good idea to bring back Rock Band 4 now. So be afraid, Rock Band returns. Which is awesome, I think. It filled a very definite void in the gaming community, and it was sad to see it go, though I understand financially why. It just was a lot, you know. There's ebbs and flows in gaming, just like shooters have high points, and RPGs have high points, and MMOs have had, prosperous times in video games. So did the music genre, and, it definitely had to recede in order to kind of maintain its freshness. But I'm glad it's back. And actually, that's kind of one of the reasons I'm doing this right now. As I said, I was in a rut, producing almost no content, and I thought it was utterly inappropriate that one of my favorite games was coming out, or a game from one of my favorite series, and I almost forgot. Which is sad because I put so much time and energy into loving this damn thing, and I wanted to let everyone know how cool it is. To that point, even though I'm going to talk about Rock Band for just a little bit, I do have an interview with Aaron from Harmonix. Many of you may know him as HMXHenry on the Rock Band site and on their forums. He's a super fun guy. We had a lot of great conversations at E3 when I was there this year, and I felt as if, though perhaps a little late, I still think the interview went really well, and I think that he does talk about some cool stuff that maybe you don't know about in terms of Rock Band 4. So we should get down to it. As far as Rock Band 4 is concerned, they've got a lot of new stuff, obviously, a new set list, tons of different pre-order bonuses, so depending on where you get it from, you'll be getting like a ton of Harmonix classics, like, Bank Camaro and Anarchy Club, Freeze Pop, Honest Bob, That Handsome Devil, just, muy impresivo. Just the top of the pops here. And then there's some random bonuses, and it was looking at both the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One digital bonuses. It is a super hard decision depending on your musical taste, because on PlayStation 4 you get people like Janis Joplin and Pantera and All That Remains. But then on Xbox One you get people like Earth, Wind and Fire, Jefferson Starship, Weird Al. And actually, you also get baby metal, and if no one knows what baby metal is, it's like K-pop mixed with like death metal. It's amazing. I think all those songs will be available for download after the game launches, but I think for the people who went those avenues, Xbox, PlayStation 4, etc., you'll be getting those for free. So that's really cool. The set list itself is looking great. We got Arctic Monkeys, Avenged Sevenfold, Black Keys, Dream Theater, Elvis Presley, huge first for the game game genre community. We've got Jack White, Judas Priest, personal favorite of mine, Mark Ronson, Bruno Mars, Uptown Funk, I Love You, Ozzy Osbourne, Paramore, the Proto Men for all you nerds out there, Scorpions, Soundgarden, Spin Doctors for all you 90s kids. So Harmonix has always been really good at picking great set lists, the development team has a bar with great taste, and they just go, hey, that was a great song, I love this bar, let's use that in the game. Now, I know that a lot of those guys are musicians over there, so it's very evident that they love music and they know the good stuff. And on top of just the setlist being good, Harmonix built an empire on DLC, not like thieves, vagabonds, and mercenaries. They didn't milk people. Rock Band represents one of the most awesome success stories as far as the game community is concerned in a while, because Harmonix is bold enough to say, Rock Band isn't just a game, it's a platform. And of course that's going to sound like ridiculous to anyone, because back then games weren't platforms. Console was a platform, the PC is a platform, But a game, no way. But Harmonix pulled it off. They were one of the first, one of the few. You know, one of the only other people who comes to mind outside of like the MMO realm is Valve. You know, not just Steam. Like games like Team Fortress 2. They worked on it and developed it for 10 years. It was a great value when it first came out, and the community and the content has expanded so wildly beyond your dreams, or what you initially got on launch day, which is already fantastically fun. And Rock Band, I think, is one of the only other games that's really done that through just a couple of installments and a lot of support. And I think that's super impressive, and one of the reasons I really love Rock Band. I mean, I also really enjoy the really distilled, pure sense of gameplay. The mechanics are brilliant. It kind of represents kind of an old school arcade sensibility, because you have that pure lust of like personal challenge and high score achievement that you don't get in many games today. And there is kind of a heart and a heel, because back in the day when you played a game or you were trying to beat it, or even in an arcade when you're just trying to get a high score, you put so much time and energy into it and love it to death, but it would piss you off so much when you lost. And that's not as common nowadays, but Rock Band somehow does it without being alienating. In fact, Rock Band represents one of the best multiplayer experiences I've ever had as well, because it's very, very inclusive. It services just about any player skill and just about any player taste. So unless you really don't like music, or at least playing along to music, you won't like the game. But I feel so few people. I have not indoctrinated, because I'm not trying to sell a religion here. I've had so many people kind of get turned on a Rock Band, even though they weren't game players, because it is so inviting and so fun and so accessible. You have all the different difficulty set lists. We have a whole bunch of, a million songs. You have the biggest set list you can imagine, so everyone has their own taste kind of fulfilled, unless you have a really particular taste. You have a whole bunch of different difficulty settings to, service the most hardcore and the most casual. You have all the different instruments, so you can have people who are doing karaoke or people who play instruments like drums, and some of those skills carry over as far as like pro drums is concerned. You have just straight up gameplay with the plastic instruments that are super fun. Then also with Rock Band 3, you had the keys, and it just goes on. It's just impressive, as I'm saying. It truly is a platform, and it's not bullshit marketing line. It's Harmonix kicking ass, and that's why I really love Rock Band. With Rock Band 4, it looks like they're doing a whole bunch of cool new shit. They're bringing back tour mode, like kind of a really fleshed out tour mode, from what Aaron was telling me at E3. Sounds really cool. The show mode sounds really awesome, because it kind of creates this cool dichotomy between your band where you can vote on songs and you can kind of have little fights with each other. And it's supposed to be more of a focused party mode where it keeps the action rolling. It's not just scrolling through set lists. And of course, they have brand new instruments out. And I felt the Strat at E3, and even though I was actually more of a Gibson fan, the Guitar Hero guitars back in the day, the Strat felt better than anything I've ever held. It was sexy. Of course, one of the good things about Harmonix is they love their longtime fans, and they will be rolling out more and more content, so the old Rock Band discs will eventually become supportable, or will be downloadable. But, a lot of the old instruments will be usable too. On the PS4, straight away they'll be usable. Unfortunately, on the Xbox One, you have to download an adapter, but the fact that you can use your old controllers in a new game is pretty uncommon, and the fact that Harmonix wanted to do that is awesome. And on top of, obviously, thousands of old DLC songs servicing old-time players, Rock Band 4 has got where it's going on. I can't wait to actually pick it up. There's no midnight launch for the game where I was, so I'll have to be picking up tomorrow around 10 when GameStop opens. And I think I'm actually, even though I'm going to be super curious to totally break it in, I am going to be kind of an old school score hero lover and try to just do kind of an endless set list where I'll play through the main set list back to back to back. In confident hope I'm going to 5-star it and try to gold star as many songs as I can, because I haven't been playing regularly in a little while, so I'm a little rusty, but I'm ready for the challenge, and I think Rock Band 4 is going to have it. And I'm just very excited to get Rock Band parties going again, to play with new people, play with old friends. I think the game's got a lot to offer, and that's just day one. I can't imagine how they're going to support it over the next few years. So it's a game that's going to keep on giving, and that is a dollar value for any gamer, which is cool. With that, I think I'll leave Rock Band 4 fanboyism to the side, as I kind of want to get to the interview I had with Aaron, a.k.a. HarmonixHenry, at E3 2015, which I was very excited about. I really wish I had written more articles about Rock Band 4, and I still have time to write more articles about Rock Band 4 versus Guitar Hero Live, which will be coming out later this month, which, again, I'm very excited about. As far as this interview is concerned, it was at the show. There was a lot going on, so I was very excited and very nervous, pretty tired. I showed up on day -1, as I jokingly called it, because day 0 is when the big companies pimp out the press conferences, Microsoft, Sony, etc. Day -1 at this year's E3, in jest is what I called it, was basically Fallout, and Bethesda, Doom, which is amazing, but getting there so early before the show already tuckered me out for even day 1, which is when this happened. And still a great interview. I should note a couple of things. I was a little slurry in the interview, but that's because, again, I was very tired. And you can tell I'm a little nervous at the beginning, but I get much better. No matter how much someone tries to explain it, the sensory overload and the sense of excitement at E3 is just indescribable. Being at the show is just minute-to-minute chaos, and it's amazing, but it's very hard to conduct interviews, I found, in that chaos. I got so nervous, and I forgot the fucking year we were in. I say 2005 at the beginning, and I just tried to glaze over it, and it was amazing because HarmonixHenry's face was priceless. Because I think when I said 2005, I said it so matter-of-factly. He looked really what? As if he was convinced it was 2005. And then I saw him giggle a little bit, but we moved on because I just wanted, not to get it over with, but I just kind of want to sweep it under the rug and be like, yeah, it's cool. It was funny anyway, so I felt like it wasn't really that much of a blooper. And my volume does fluctuate in the interview, and I will try to tweak it in editing before I post it. But there will be moments where I'm a little shoutier, but there is technically a virtual rock show going on to my left, so we kind of had to raise our voices. But the energy of the interview is fantastic. I really love Harmonix, and I appreciate HarmonixHenry giving me the interview, because I'm a huge, huge Rock Band and Guitar Hero fan, and I always like to say that up front, as if it isn't obvious. Just because I think they're fantastic games, and Rock Band 4 was the game I was looking forward to at this year's E3, and I'm excited to play it later today, because I think it's going to be one of those games that, it stays in the system for a while, and deservedly so, because if it's anything like the old Rock Band, which it promises to be, to relive the glory days, I'm not going to be putting down my axe anytime soon. So that was the Pashcast, and you've got an interview of me, Pash Marano, with HarmonixHenry about Rock Band 4, which has got some good information coming up. Exclusive interview at E3 2015. Thanks for stopping by, guys. I hope you appreciate the interview, and hope you check out Rock Band 4 when it launches October 6th, which is today. Thanks for stopping by. I'm Pash Marano, signing off. Ciao.
This is Pash Marano recording live from the show floor at E3 2005. I'm here with Aaron, who's the community manager at Harmonix, and I'm here to talk to him about Rock Band 4 and why it's going to rock harder than anything else. Aaron, thanks for being here with me.
I'm more than happy to be here. Thanks so much for stopping by.
Totally. What made Harmonix think this was the time to bring Rock Band 4 back?
Well, we've kind of taken 5 years off since Rock Band 3. We had a little bit of downtime. This is kind of our break in between tours. We got to work on our solo projects and find ourselves. But 5 years is a good long time, and all of our fans have been super supportive. And every time we've announced games in the last 5 years, everyone said "Oh, that's cool, but what about Rock Band?" So there's definitely still a ton of interest, and we're still seeing hundreds of thousands of people play. There's always been that support. Now with the new console generation, that really seemed like the right time to kind of jump back on Rock Band and make that our priority again, and bring it to a brand new console generation and a whole new audience.
Awesome. Now, was it a really easy decision or obvious to most of Harmonix that you guys were just going to go with the core instruments and you're going to cut out some of the pro stuff going forward?
That was something that took a lot of soul searching. Like, none of the decisions that we made were made lightly. Like, we know that a lot of people really like the pro stuff and really like the keyboards, but when we started looking at, what the focus of the game was, Rock Band 3, like we were just talking about, is a huge game. It's super ambitious, and we were really glad that we got to do it, but we wanted to focus our concentration a little bit more for Rock Band 4. So like concentrating on the 4 core instruments, guitar, bass, drums, and vocals, really allowed us to make sure that that core full band experience was as polished and refined as it could be.
Awesome. So out of the 4,000 or 5,000 songs that were released for Rock Band over the years, how much of that is going to be day one available for Rock Band 4?
Day one available is a good question. I actually don't have that number because we have a team back in the office working on that right now. It's a ton of submissions work. It's a lot of filing paperwork. But we like know how important that back catalog is to people that have supported us on the last console generation. So we're head down, nose to the grindstone, doing absolutely everything we can. And first party, Microsoft and Sony have been awesome, making sure that they're helping as much as they can. We want to make sure that we get as much content available as quickly as possible.
Awesome. Have you guys announced a core set list yet?
We have not. We've only announced 11 songs so far. I can try to run those down from memory. I know that we've announced Avenged Sevenfold, Fleetwood Mac, Jack White, The Killers, Spin Doctors, The Who, Benjamin Booker, Elvis Presley, Queens of the Stone Age. Oh, I'm so close. Oh, Mark Ronson and Bruno Mars, and Scandal. Yes.
Well done. Well done.
I could under duress name all 11 songs as well. You can find all those up on the front page of rockband.com right now.
And you said Elvis there, did you not?
Elvis Presley, yes. Suspicious Minds. First time he's come to Rock Band.
I was going to say, that must be huge for you guys.
That's a pretty big get. It's awesome. Anytime that we're able to land an artist that we've never worked with before, like whether it's a new artist or an older artist, but to be able to work with someone like Elvis and to be able to have access to that content is unbelievable.
That's fantastic. Do you have any new features? I know that you guys are really focusing on kind of just bringing back the nostalgia, the classic note charts, the classic instruments. Anything standing out as something Rock Band fans have never seen before?
Yeah, the big change for Rock Band 4 is specifically the idea of freestyle guitar solos. We're kind of updating all of the instruments to make sure that we're pushing on this idea of creative expression. Like, we don't want people to just feel like all there is to music games is beat match gameplay. Like, we've been doing that for years, and we do that better than anyone, and that's awesome, but there's so much more to music. There's so much more to that idea of being able to express yourself and put your own creative spin on a song. So with guitar solos, specifically freestyle guitar solos, you can remix and kind of like put your own personal stamp on a guitar solo and make it sound like it's never sounded before. And so we're adding similar improvisational freestyle elements to all the instruments so that everybody in the band kind of has this opportunity to put their own creative stamp on a song.
Very cool. Well, Rock Band's always been great about doing quick play, jumping in, just making set lists, playing whatever you want. How about any modes or features? Are you guys doing challenges again? Is there going to be any kind of single player as far as like a campaign's concerned? Other than just like the meat of the massive set list you guys have, what are some of the other little odds and ends that you have at Rock Band 4?
Yeah, there's a bunch of different modes. We're still making that standard quick play available so that if people want to hop in, play one song, they can do that. There is going to be a tour mode, so if people want to go in and like take their band on that whole journey of either like rags to riches or we're going to sell out or we're going to stay true to our roots. Like, there's going to be like some really awesome branching narrative options in that tour campaign. We're also introducing shows, which is one of the things that I'm most excited about. It's kind of a play on quick play where like you will pick the first song that you perform, but then you'll enter into a show where you as a band can vote on the next song you want to play. So everyone in the band will vote from a list of 5 prompts whether or not you want to play, say, an 80s song or a metal song or a song with a female vocalist or a song by Duran Duran. So you, in real time, have to vote as a band on what you want to play, and maybe the singer disagrees with the bassist and the band ends up fighting over what they want to play, and then after every song you get that prompt to play through that mini voting again. So it's an awesome party mode because it keeps you from that quick play loop of like you play a song, back out into the menu, scroll through, oh, I don't want to play that, scroll through, no, I don't want to play that. So the show really keeps you in that party mode, and you could play that for an hour, 10 hours, 100 hours if you wanted to.
Well, that is brilliant. Any kind of cool or maybe, let's say, excessive achievements that you guys have? I mean, personally, I was a big fan of like the Bladder of Steel and OCD. Are you guys keeping that under wraps, or do you have like a cool achievement you want to talk about?
We haven't announced any achievement stuff yet, but I'm sure that the design team has a few tricks up their sleeve. Like, they're always really good about that stuff, you know, finding achievements that appeal to the hardcore, the people that want to play the endless set list and sit down for, you know, every single song on a set list, and, you know, just have like an all day long party. So we'll wait and see.
All right. Well, as far as the DLC schedule goes, can you give me any insight into what you guys are planning just from the get-go?
We haven't announced an official schedule just yet, but we definitely want to make sure that Rock Band is supported with content after launch. You know, we did 281 weeks of consecutive DLC for the first Rock Band, so it shouldn't be any surprise that like Harmonix is committed to downloadable content and updates. And for Rock Band 4, that's no exception. Like, we want to make sure that Rock Band 4 is the Rock Band for this console generation. We want to make sure that we're releasing stuff to support it for as long as we possibly can.
Awesome. Have you announced the official release date for Rock Band 4 yet?
October 6, 2015.
Awesome, man. One last question. If you could have dinner with any musician, dead or alive, who would you have it with?
Oh man, I'm really into Frank Turner right now. Like, we released I Still Believe by Frank Turner as free DLC back in March when we announced Rock Band 4 was coming. And it's been kind of like, that's been my anthem for Rock Band 4. Like, it's all about like believing in the power of rock and roll can save us all, and it has the power to change lives. And it's like, it's kind of hokey, but it's true. And when you see people like standing around playing Rock Band 4 and clapping and cheering, like, it makes me feel so happy to be able to bring the game back out on the road. So like, I'm big into Frank Turner right now. I'd love to hang out with him.
I agree. I think that rock and roll can save us all.
Yes.
Well, Aaron, I want to thank you so much for coming out and talking to me, and thanks for putting out another Rock Band.
You are very welcome. We did it just for you.
It's Pash Morano, reporting for Gamer Syndrome at E3 2015, signing off.